Well, that was a fun game. Little Justin Herbert, Patrick Mahomes, week one shootout-ish in Brazil. Certainly felt that way in the second half. Welcome into Verts, little post-game show. Big, big, big win for the Los Angeles Chargers, as technically this was a home divisional game victory over the Kansas City Chiefs, 27-21. Kind of a slow first half, especially for the Chiefs, but that second half and especially the fourth quarter was electrifying to watch. I certainly enjoyed it. So we have full reaction and takeaways, but this is what we do here at Verts. We try to react to every single NFL primetime game, obviously some NFL Sunday reaction as well. I'm actually going to be live Sunday afternoon for the noon games for a little kind of hangout stream. We'll keep tabs on the early games, and then, of course, we'll have our typical video reaction to the early window afterwards. Then after Sunday Night Football, Bills, Ravens, we'll have a video as well. But subscribe to the channel. We're ramping back up. We're ready to go. We just crossed 11,000 subs. Shout out to all of you. Let's keep the train moving. So LA 27, Kansas City 21. Justin Herbert, you don't want to overreact too much because it's one game, and it's not new information that he's one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL, but obviously he's kind of been put in this category by the national media of, what is, I think Acho, one of those guys called him, he's a YouTube quarterback. He's a highlights quarterback. It's like, no, this guy's really freaking good. I understand in 2 playoff games he's come up short, and last year was a complete dud, but this guy on any given Sunday, Friday in this case, can play with the best in the league and outplay the best in the league, and he did that against Patrick Mahomes tonight. Now, Patrick Mahomes played really well, especially in the second half after a slow start. We'll get to him in a minute, but I think Justin Herbert, Jim Harbaugh, and the Chargers, Greg Roman too, want to give him some love, just put the NFL and the AFC on notice, because what has it been for years in the AFC? The Chiefs have been the team to beat, and the Ravens and the Bills have consistently been in the mix, sprinkling the Bengals there for a couple of years. The Chargers tonight, if Justin Herbert can play like that, which we know he can, he just needs to in the biggest spots, they can be a team in the AFC that contends to get to an AFC championship game, and who knows, maybe even a Super Bowl. Over the course of a season, is missing Rashawn Slater going to hurt? I'm sure it will. They certainly didn't run the ball super well tonight, but that almost makes me more encouraged if I'm LA, because we know at their core, Jim Harbaugh and Greg Roman, they want to run the football. What did they do tonight? They let Justin Herbert cook. And even late in the game, when they need to ice that game, what does Greg Roman do on the first play? Play action pass, 17 yards, first down, and then Justin Herbert's able to scramble it. 3rd and long, Kurt Warner's in the booth saying, yeah, let's just hand this off and punt. And I'm sitting there thinking, if you give Patrick Mahomes the football back, he started to heat up, down 27-21 with 2 minutes to play, does anyone on the planet think the Chiefs are not going to drive down and win that game? If you don't, you're lying to yourselves. Of course you call a pass play, and Herbert was able to get outside contain and scramble for a first down. Just a masterful performance. 24 of 33, 318 yards, 3 touchdowns, 9.4 yards per attempt. He was absolutely fantastic. And I'll tell you what, he quietly had a pretty decent second year, still some drops in there last year. But Quentin Johnston reports out of LA where that he had a really good training camp. He looked really good tonight. And I don't know if he's ever going to live up to being, the 21st, 22nd pick, whatever. You take a receiver in the first round, you're hoping for a true number 1. But if he can just be a really good piece, tonight, 5 catches, 79 yards, 2 touchdowns. I like the way they use him early in the game. Just one of those classic bootlegs, throw it to him on the little drag, let him go. I think the misconception about him coming out of TCU was that he's this big body contested catch receiver. That's not really who he is. He's really good in space, despite being a big guy. He's fast, he's long-strided, he can make people miss. Crossers, like deep overs, like that's his game. Not saying you can't ever throw goes to him, but like getting him in space on the underneath stuff, then the deep crossers, that's how you utilize him, and that's how they utilized him tonight. He looked fantastic. Lad McConkey had some big catches, 6 for 74. Welcome back, Keenan Allen, 7 for 68. He dropped that first one early on And that made me think, oh, I saw that a few times in Chicago last year, but had a touchdown as well. Like he doesn't need to be, the Keenan Allen of old. Just be a nice complimentary piece. Like that trio of QJ, Ladd, Keenan Allen, regardless of who the number 1, 2, 3, sprinkling a little Trey Harris as the year goes on. That's a formidable group. No doubt about it. Amarian Hampton, 15 carries, 48 yards. I expect him to pick it up as the season goes on. And, they're going to continue to run the ball. That's what Harbaugh and Roman like to do. But sometimes when you have a guy like Justin Herbert, just let him cook. And especially, and look, I'll give Greg Roman credit. His pass game designs throughout most of his coaching career have been kind of confusing and don't really make sense. Guys were running free tonight. Guys were running free. I don't know if that's design. I don't know if that's the Chiefs getting confused on the back end or not having the right personnel, but guys were open a lot. And you got to give Roman, these receivers, and obviously Herbert for delivering the football a lot of credit. I thought the Chargers looked great. Their protection held up, at least for tonight. Mahomes was definitely under siege more than Herbert was. So, listen, I really think that was a statement for Justin Herbert and the Chargers. Because if the Chiefs win, it's like they don't need to make any statements, right? Like for the Chiefs, it's like get into the playoffs and try to win a Super Bowl. Like that's where they're at this point. For the Chargers, though, it's like, do they belong with the best in the AFC? To me, them winning this game means a lot more than if the Chiefs would have won it. And had they punted the ball back to Mahomes and lost this game 28-27 after being in control all night, that kind of would have been devastating. Like that would have been a devastating loss for the Chargers had that happened. So kudos to them for winning this game because that was a big time performance. Before we get to the Chiefs, I'm curious what you guys think. Are the Chargers a true AFC contender to at least make the AFC Championship game? Have they entered Chiefs, Ravens, Bills status, or is it too early to say that? Type Y for yes, they are. Type N for no, not yet. Let's pump the brakes on that. Let me know down in the comments. Now, Patrick Mahomes started a little slow. Xavier Worthy, third play of the game, they ran a mesh concept, and him and Travis Kelce collided, and Worthy's shoulder got popped, and he did not return. That's certainly a blow, not only for this game, but potentially for the next few weeks, because Rashee Rice is suspended the first 6 games, so he's going to miss another 5. We'll see how long Worthy is out. He did not return. So it took a few drives for the Chiefs to get going. They put together a couple decent drives into the first half, got a couple field goals, including one of the best fire drill field goals I've ever seen, where they got tackled in bounds, had no timeouts, and had to sprint on the field, and Harrison Butker made a 59-yard field goal. On the flip side for Butker, he missed a critical extra point, which really cost them because they went down 13-12 instead of tying it up. And then the Chargers scored to go up 20-12. Then the Chiefs scored, but didn't get the 2-point conversion. And then the Chargers scored again. So then it's a 2-score game, 27-18. So when the Chiefs went down and Mahomes magic to Hollywood Brown on 4th down to get it inside the 10, they ultimately settled for 3 to cut it to 27-21. Had that just been the standard 27-20, they'd be playing for the touchdown there. And who knows, maybe they score and tie the game on that drive. Mahomes threw a little crosser to Kelce, and it seemed like Kelce stopped on the route, and Mahomes wanted him to keep going. You just kind of saw a little bit of that tonight from the Chiefs. It felt like the Chargers were more keyed in on the details. The Chiefs were sloppy. Justin Simmons had a couple false starts, and listen, that's a rookie left tackle. Jawan Taylor, I mean, he is just a headache for the Chiefs at this point. He had, I think, 4 penalties, multiple holds, I think 2 false starts. But he's an anchor with his contract. They can't do anything about it. So we'll see if he's the guy all year. He's definitely not going to be on the team next year, but they do have Jalen Moore. Maybe they work him in there more moving forward, but the penalties kind of show that out. The Chiefs had 10 for 71 yards. Chargers had 6 for 49 yards. So I thought Justin Herbert was a little bit better overall than Patrick Mahomes. Thought he played a near perfect game. Mahomes played really well, especially in the second half. But early on they were just a little off, him and the receivers, and then just the buttoned up aspect. I thought the Chargers were just sharper. I thought they did the little things a little bit better, and you add all that up, it's the Chargers won a close game, and again, you felt it with the Chiefs late. When they got Mahomes or Herbert to third and long, you're like, they're going to steal this again, aren't they? They are going to steal another game that they probably shouldn't, but Herbert got outside of the pocket and scrambled for a first down. Big win for Los Angeles. Big picture, I think the Chiefs will be fine. In the short term, they might have to piece together a receiver. Tyquan Thornton had a nice downfield catch on a deep ball. That was good to see. He's had a good camp for Kansas City. JuJu made some catches, Hollywood Brown, but they're going to have to kind of piece it together until Rice and/or Worthy are back. Hopefully, Worthy doesn't miss too much time for Kansas City. And then for the Chargers, listen, they got the Raiders next week, so a good opportunity to start 2-0. For the Chiefs, they play the Philadelphia Eagles next week, so we'll see how that goes. Now, Philly certainly did not look dominant by any stretch of the imagination last night. I'm not going to act like that's some impossible task, especially at home at Arrowhead Stadium, but that's still going to be a difficult game. I mean, let's be honest. Both teams are going to be highly motivated to play in that game. We'll see if Jalen Carter's in it, if he gets suspended or not after that spitting incident in the opener. Personally, I hope he plays, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see how the NFL reviews that. They obviously have a little bit extra time with that game taking place yesterday. So about 10 days between games. But that's a sneaky big game because you don't want to start 0-2 if you're Kansas City, because then you go to the Giants, a game you should win, but, primetime game, you never know. And then Baltimore the week after that. So I think the Chiefs will be fine. I think the Chargers put the NFL on notice at least a little bit tonight. Don't think one game lofts you into Super Bowl contention, but we know this. Justin Herbert is as elite of a talent as we have in this league at quarterback. If he can take that next step in terms of just being a little bit more consistent, and then, if they get into the playoffs of playing well, then he can play with any quarterback in this league. Kind of like Stafford, right? Stafford on any given Sunday can play with the best of the best. Herbert can do that as well. And Jim Harbaugh is a big-time coach, and Jesse Minter is a big-time defensive coordinator. That's another note I want to hit on before we get out of here. I thought the Chargers' defense was better tonight than the Chiefs. I mentioned the Chargers receivers running free most of the night. A lot of the plays Mahomes had to make, tighter window throws. He's having to run around. He had some nice scrambles to get some first downs, some tighter window plays. Overall, I thought Jesse Minter made him earn everything tonight. And even a couple of times, like, there were a few plays where you're like, oh, that's gonna be a first down, but then a big hit would come a yard short of the sticks, and Andy Reid would have to make a big decision. So tackled well. They felt a little bit more ready to go and buttoned up for this game, I thought, than Kansas City. I'm not going to use the cliche they wanted it more, but you could feel the fire they had in this game, and that's why they led from start to finish and found a way to get it done. All right, Chargers 27, Chiefs 21. Good game. Great start to the season. Great game last night. I thought tonight was a more entertaining, higher-level game, especially from the quarterbacks. But Dak and Hurts are good as well, to be honest. So all four of these cats have been good so far. But football's back, baby. We got a full slate of college football tomorrow, NFL Sunday, and then we got Bears-Vikings to wrap up week 1 Monday night. Gotta love it. Absolutely gotta love it. All right, we are out of here. Hit that subscribe button. Thanks for tuning in to 4 Verts. We will be back tomorrow, so see you soon.